So if you are seeing this video, it means that I have moved offices. It has been a process. I showed a video of what was going on in the bathroom over there. I'm not in my office like every single day, so I don't even know how long at one point this mess was on the floor. That happened at least 3 different times. There was a lot of pros and then there are some cons about that particular office space. Once I decided to start my private practice, I didn't really put a lot of thought into like what type of office space I wanted. I just saw that they had a space available. I called them up. I didn't like look around or anything like that. And I just kind of settled, or I shouldn't say settled, because I always say that everything happens for a reason. So I end up finding a space. But the process to finding that office space was a bit of a process, to say the least.
Which is larger, which is going to be more money. Taking some photos.
You can get my number.
And this is $500. Yeah.
I had looked at maybe 3 different spaces, maybe 4 different spaces. I want to stay in the same area because I don't want my clients to have to travel further. And I ended up talking to a realtor. He really didn't come to me with anything. So I had already did a little bit of the legwork anyway. So him and I, we made an appointment for me to go see one of the properties. It was an office space that was in an old bank. And so I went to go see that office space, and when you enter into it, it was like open office concept, and then the offices that the person was renting out were upstairs. And so there was someone that he said that read screenplays for a living. There was another office where someone was a life coach. I just did not feel that it was a space for my clients. The entry point where they would either enter into like someone's working area, like all these people down here working, or they would enter through the back side of the building, up 2 flights of stairs. The landing up at the top was a little uneven, so that made me a little nervous because I'm like, I don't want anyone tripping. I found another place. And so I guess they are like nationwide when it comes to renting out office spaces, a huge company. And I guess they rent out, like, let's say like a whole floor of a building, because this building was like maybe 4 or 5 floors. And they had like one section of that building. Inside their office was different offices that they rented out. Everything just looked really corporate. Then I was like, this is not for my clients either. They did have like a receptionist. If it's during those business hours, they would greet them. It did not feel like therapy session. Even the office spaces was very much like a computer type desk and chair. I could not see myself making it comfy. By this time, I'm starting to feel a little bit like Goldilocks here, especially when I tell you about the next one. So then I found something on Craigslist. This guy who was renting out some office space on Craigslist made an appointment to see the property. He said, I got, LCSWs in there. I was kind of familiar with the building. Once I saw it, I was like, I passed by it. It's not too far. I got there and no one was there. So the guy, he was in Long Island. He said he would FaceTime me and he would walk me through the property, push the door. And I'm like, So he's like, just push it, try to open it, but it wasn't open. It was locked. So then he gave me the code, which is a very easy code to get in. And then once I got in, I was just a little confused and kind of like, okay, where do you go? Because there's all these doors. And so he was like, well, go to your left. That's the office. You're going to go to your left, whatever the number or the letter that was on the door. And I went over there and opened the door, and it was a disaster. And at this point, I'm getting a little kind of nervous because I'm like, there's nobody else in this building. And, I am FaceTiming this guy from Long Island. Very nice guy, though. Walking around this house, because it was like a house that they converted to an office space. Very odd shape. And then I look, there's like a door on the other side. And the door looked like someone had tried to like break it down, or it had been destroyed somehow. Even the heating units were like off the wall. And he's like, oh, I have to do, some touch-ups. I have to get someone in there to do stuff. And I'm like, sir, in my mind, I'm like, sir, you need to like really like have this stuff ready to go before you show someone. I did not like the space. But I'm still trying to be cordial, still trying to be nice. I go over to another office. He's like, go over there. And he's like, well, this particular area here, he had someone there who did hair, but he's not licensed. He doesn't have the proper permits for that person to do hair. And he kept emphasizing that he wanted, people in the office or businesses in that building that would be able to, do like what I do, counseling. Too much things that needed to be done. He was going to provide Wi-Fi, which a lot of the places that I looked at does not provide Wi-Fi. So the last place I looked at, I called up the realtor, different realtor, and I met her at the building, less than 5-6 minute drive from my house, depending on the traffic, because there's some little traffic areas. Going to the main road, looked at the building, like, okay, like the building. Parking lot looks good, looks well kept. And then she shows me 2 different offices. One, it would be me renting out a room within a 3-office suite. She showed me one where I would have the waiting area, or the whole suite would have been my suite. So I ended up selecting the suite, and I will show you guys. Okay, this is the new home of Meet Me There Clinical Counseling. This is the waiting room area here. And then this is the office space. And I am so happy that I actually have 3 windows in this office. So much more space, so much more usable space that I can actually make this into like my office side and still have plenty of room for my sessions. But I can also have plants in here. Over here. All right, so reading. So yeah. I put my expensive paper up. I just have one more piece of expensive paper to put up, and that is my licensure. Looks to clean this stuff up. Ooh, I got the sun from the west. Okay, so it looks really, like, I like this west facing. Okay. Had my first session in here today. Was in here yesterday, and I don't remember the sun being like this nice on the side. Like, I'm loving this light that I'm getting in through these windows.